is really important. Is this man the greatest player to ever put on the uniform of Alabama University? Yes or no?
Correct.
All
Correct.
right. Yes, of course.
uh,
He is my
yeah.
hero.
Oh yeah. Mine
I love.
too. Mine too. I
If
just
you're it, oh, go ahead.
no. I mean, actually, I got a book over here. In my, I'm sitting next to a book that I have about him,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I saw him. That was my first Alabama game,
Oh, I
October
love it.
1963, Tennessee, and in Birmingham, Alabama, Legion Field. And
Nice.
so yeah, that's and but yeah, and I think he had three touchdown passes as a
Yeah,
sophomore player then though. But yeah,
that's
uh,
incredible.
and he lives what South Florida now.
He does. Yep. I actually was in Jupiter for a Cardinals St. Louis Cardinals spring training game, and he threw out the first pitch, which we didn't know when we sat down. And Joe Namath is my idol since like I was a huge Jets fan. I don't watch football anymore, but I was a huge Jets fan, and Joe Namath was my idol. And when I saw him there, I was like, holy smokes! My two favorite things: the Cardinals and Joe Namath all in the same field. It was freaking amazing. But on top of that, I actually met Namath because they used to practice at Hofstra University, which was on Long Island. And so my dad and I, my family basically went to watch practice because they were open to the public. And all of a sudden, this really nice convertible pulls up, and he's like, "Who's that guy?" And it was Joe Namath. So I got out of my car, I raced over to him, and I'm like, hey Joe," and he was like walking towards the offices or whatever. And he turns around and he looks at me and I said, "Can you sign my paper?" Because it was autographs back then. So he asked me my name and he signed "Best wishes, Joe Namath, best wishes, Chuck, Joe Namath." So I have his autograph. It was so great. I was like 12. It was awesome. So I love Joe Namath to death. You know, I watched him play at Shea Stadium when I was a kid. Yeah, just a great guy. And you answered that question correctly. Best Alabama University of Alabama football player there ever was.
Oh, I mean, and the thing being is that when he and I like hearing that that story you just told. Okay, I like stories when they're really nice and courteous like that. I mean, the signing
Yeah.
autographs, But then that said, but when he made that prediction, is that the Baltimore Colts at the time, Super Bowl III, 1969, 18-point underdogs, and there was a press conference or luncheon to somebody,
Hmm.
and some reporter smarted off, and he said, "Hey, pal, we will win. I guarantee it."
Absolutely. Yep.
And I mean, everybody thought he was crazy. 18-point
Yes.
underdogs, and they came out and won 12-7.
Yeah. 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 The greatest moment in the history of the New York Jets, that's for sure. But yeah, that was
Well,
awesome.
and I say that though, and I'm proud in Montgomery, Alabama
Yeah.
back then,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, that he came back and played in a golf tournament there where I played in Montgomery, Alabama, that my dad set up. And the
Hmm.
coach, Bear Bryant, was in that golf match, the
Wow.
Bear. And then
That's the
Joe
guy behind
Namath.
him, for anybody who doesn't know.
Yep. And then
Mhm.
Arnold Palmer.
Very cool. Yeah.
So
Very
those
cool.
three
Yeah.
guys went whatever, but and that was January January of '68. 1 year later, January '69, he won the Super Bowl.
Jets were the Super Bowl champs. First in
Yep.
the back then it was the AFL still. First and they actually say that's the reason why they merged because the NFL wasn't taking the AFL seriously at the time. And
No.
after the Jets won, the NFL realized that it was let's just merge them and make it one. Yeah, with Namath, I've heard Namath say that they were so confident that there was some concern that studying the Colts was going to make them overconfident that they shouldn't see so much game film because they just felt like there was no shot that the Colts were going to win that game as a team. They felt that way. And a really interesting thing that folks, if I don't know if it's the book that you have, I'm not giving away, much of the book by saying this. But one of the 2 books on Namath I read, the Jets did not give him a physical until after they signed him and announced that he was good, that they I think it was the Cardinals in football had also drafted him. And after they announced that they beat out the Cardinals and they had Joe Namath, then they gave him the physical. And the doctor told Namath, if I knew how bad your knees were before you signed that contract, I would have told the Jets not to sign you. So it's amazing that it worked out the way it did for the Jets. But yeah, great moment, and of course a great football player, and the first real rock star athlete.
And it's something that you mentioned, the Cardinals, okay? But back
Yeah.
then, if memory serves, that was St. Louis Cardinals
Yes, it
football.
was. Yes.
St. Louis Cardinals, as
Yep.
opposed to if he had played in St. Louis, as opposed to playing for the New York Jets in New York City, the media capital of the world.
Right.
And I think they wanted him because they saw something football talent wise, but they saw something
Mhm.
extra in him
Yeah.
that, hey, wait a minute, this is a showman.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
here in
Absolutely.
New York City, and look, I mean, he goes up there and you had Broadway Joe's up, New York
Yep.
City, and just really took New York City by storm.
He did.
And then, you know, brings the AFC into being, champion of the NFL when they were never. I mean, Bart Starr, who also played at Alabama, for Montgomery, Alabama, won the first 2 Super Bowls for Green Bay Packers.
Huh. I didn't realize he was from Alabama. He played in Alabama as well. There's an interesting story. The reason why the Cardinals the Giants actually, the New York Giants actually wanted Joe Namath, but the Giants were afraid to lose out in a bidding war to the Jets. So they had worked out with the St. Louis Cardinals. You draft them, sign them, and then trade them to us. And the Cardinals said, okay, that's what they're going to do. So that's actually in one of the 2 books I read. So that was the deal. It was a ruse. The Cardinals weren't even going to keep him. They were actually going to trade him back to New York. The Giants didn't want to lose out to the Jets, and the Jets were hell-bent on getting him because they needed a star. The Jets owner at that time said the AFL needs a star, and Namath already was a star. And back then, folks, in college, Namath could run. He could run. He could throw. It was a way different Joe Namath. But he got hurt. I don't know. You might know this. Did he get hurt in his senior year or his junior year?
What? No, Namath?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was the senior year.
Senior year, he got hurt and he couldn't
Oh
run
no,
anymore.
no, that was you back then in those days, you played all 4 years.
You're right.
None of
Right.
this,
Okay.
none of this business of being drafted in your junior year or
Uh-huh.
so. You played all 4 years. But let me share something else, and that's interesting. You said that about New York Giants because back then, if memory serves, they had a good quarterback in Y.A. Tittle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Y.A. Tittle, and who I think was a Georgia boy. Don't hold me to that.
All right.
But I know Fran Tarkenton, I want to say, was Georgia. But I think Y.A. Tittle might have been Georgia as well, though. But he was quarterback of the Giants at about that time.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. All right. See, I love going down that road and discussing Joe Namath. I think one of the great parts about this show, folks, if you never know where the conversation is going to go. Started out talking about podcasting and Volusia issues, but I knew you were an Alabama fan, so I had to bring up my all-time favorite football player and and still my idol to this day. Not just a kid idol, an adult idol as well.